You're listening to Mississippi Ghost and Cryptids Podcast, where we discuss all things paranormal.
Hi, everyone.
Yay, good timing.
Welcome to another episode of Mississippi Government Conspiracy Podcast, where we talk about...
Welcome to the last episode of
Mississippi Government Podcast.
Government Conspiracy.
I'm sorry, government. Let me get that right.
It's MGC.
We're back again.
Happy Taco Tuesday.
Yay, team. So,
If you don't have a taco, go get one.
If you got one, share one.
Put that thing away.
as you can tell, we have not changed.
Nope. Nope. Welcome to the show where we have more innuendos than paranormal content.
Because the paranormal world is dead right now.
No pun intended.
No, there's just nothing happening. But Bobby,
Yes.
in her wonderful research herself, came up with some
Bobby's no life.
kind of like
Bobby's
mine.
World.
But we kind of
Mhm.
hit the same thing, but
Right.
on different shows.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna say, and this is one of Chris's favorite topics. Like he loves this thing to death.
I think he's just jealous.
Of what?
Sasquatch.
Bigfoot size.
Yeah. Smells like a wet dog.
Well, we haven't been that close to one, so I'll take your word for
That's a dirty D.
So there was a show that came out about Portlock, Alaska, and these gentlemen was asked by their tribe in Alaska to go back out and see if they could see if Bigfoot was still out there, or if that town could be reopened up to create fishing possibilities for their tribe.
Right, because
that's
this
lucky-
town
lucky
was
love.
essentially a ghost town.
Right. Well, it was a booming town back when.
I
Right.
think
It
it
was doing
says
awesome.
since the 50s.
Yeah.
Since the 49 apparently was the last straw, but
Yeah.
this area is as old as from the 1780s.
Right. And
And had
it's
been,
called, well, here in this article, I guess you want to call it, the ghost town of Port Chatham,
Mhm.
Chatham.
right. And
Yeah.
that's,
First inhabited, like you were saying, Chris, 1787
That's a long time ago.
by the British Royal Navy
Isn't that crazy?
in Alaska.
In Alaska, which was probably more Canada. This was long
Wow.
before
We
ever
purchased.
considered.
Well, wasn't it Russia? Didn't we purchase Alaska from Russia?
I don't know.
I haven't been
I mean,
to school in
it's-
I don't know how many
I don't
years.
know.
But anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it's had inhabitants from 1787 till here it says the post office officially closed in 1951.
Mm-hmm. Which at that
That's-
point, it was already empty. So
Yeah.
there was nothing there.
Right.
Everybody was scared for their life because
Bobby,
because of their Bigfoot related.
I'm sorry. You want to try this over again, Chris? Go ahead. I didn't mean to catch you off guard. Googling.
I was saying Google.
Wait, it says
Wasn't
warning.
Googling, I was
This site
Googling.
may contain. Never mind. Bull.
I'm working on my OnlyFans page.
Yeah.
hey, you said it.
Hey, if you can make money, have at it.
Oh, I do not have an OnlyFans page. It's bullshit.
But you can
Anyway.
you can Google that. Don't worry. Don't take our word for it. Google it yourself. We're gonna make you one. It's gonna be it's gonna be a fake page.
Yeah,
Fake
it's gonna be
page.
Paranormal
Oh.
Queen.
Oh no, I have a whole another name for that.
Yeah.
I have a whole name. Yeah.
A hole?
I have a whole
I mean-
name, not even a half. I want to paperclip. Making me nervous.
It's not mine.
Getting my hands wanting to twitch over here. Stop.
Lies.
Disconnected Bluetooth. Go ahead.
Ta-da.
Okay.
But
Anyway,
so
so why
in
is
this town is
Portlock?
Portlock was they were finding bodies. The townspeople were finding where people were going missing, and they were finding the bodies actually shredded, decapitated in this lagoon of water. And like we kind of discussed beforehand, a bear's not really going to, I mean, it could shred a person apart, but it's not really going to throw it out there in the water or carry it out in the water and, and just leave them out there to be found.
And to be clear, these bodies were not being eaten. They were just being destroyed.
Destroyed, decapitated,
these are residents of Portlock.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hunters or trappers or people.
Shadow people.
Ooh.
Aliens.
Well, wouldn't they have taken them on up into the plane?
They don't have to,
Into a plane? Okay. Was it that's a 747 or?
That's a whole nother show. Let me just, we'll go on that conspiracy theory later.
Not everybody's got to be probed.
Damn it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there had been several reports from the community of a Sasquatch-like creature walking on 2 feet,
Right.
supposedly incredibly strong, which I don't know how they
Wouldn't know how
determine
strong it was.
that.
Well, I mean, tree breaks and stuff like that. You would have to know that something's strong to break tree branches or,
yeah.
or you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm assuming they judged from the fact that they were hurling
Rocks.
destroyed bodies
Right.
into a body of water.
Right.
That takes a lot. I mean,
Well, it takes a lot of
A lot of
strength
dead weight.
to
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It
separate pieces of your body
that too.
Yeah.
without tools.
You don't come apart like a hot dog.
No.
Snap it in the middle. Share it.
Oh, you're so sweet.
A hot dog
His piece is
popsicle.
bigger than my piece.
Hey,
Hey, I can't work with genetics. That's not my fault. I can't do anything about that.
they have pills for that kind of thing.
Or popsicle sticks
Yes.
and duct tape.
Asking for a friend.
Anyway.
So back to people being destroyed.
Right.
Being thrown.
Well, I mean, that and then so machinery and stuff like that was being broken. And it's kind of like the whole thing, like when Bigfoot was discovered in California, where the loggers were going through, that the logging equipment and stuff was being destroyed. Kind of the same thing.
Yeah, destroyed and sabotaged in
Yeah.
a way type of
Yeah.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
And then the howls were heard, whistles were heard, and it wasn't like somebody came in to take over this town, to take over the business, to run these people out. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a ghost town after that,
yeah,
all these
no
people
one.
left.
Right.
and it was not inhabited again.
I still think to this day, no one's been at it.
Right.
That's why it's showing up on several different shows
Mm-hmm.
regarding investigations for Bigfoot or paranormal or something like that. They want to find out why people still are not inhabiting this town.
Because this is a 70-year-old case,
Right.
which spanned way longer than that before this.
Yeah, who knows what they saw before this? Because
Right.
it.
I mean,
Well, descendants and stuff. When you watch the show, descendants and stuff from other people that had lived there, talk about their family, telling them about this used to happen and that was happening, and on foggy nights, these massive shadows were seen coming through town, and footprints were left behind.
18-inch footprints.
I know. Can you imagine?
Yeah. No.
Sure can't. Thanks.
Clown feet.
Well, I mean,
So.
but and it wasn't like either that somebody went in because a theory would be somebody ran all these people off because they found gold or something there, and so they were just going to be there to take all this gold for themselves. I mean, or oil,
Because
or,
it was a mining town as well.
right. But all of that ceased and desisted, and people
Yeah.
left. I mean, it wasn't like they.
See, now, according to this, the bodies and stuff were starting to be found right at the beginning of World War II. So early 1940s.
Mhm.
And then it only lasted for, what was it, 11 years?
Yeah.
Till 51 when everybody said, no, we're done.
Only because the post office stuck around. I mean, there was probably nobody there then.
That's what I'm saying. So it took a matter of 11 years for people to say, hold on, we've got so many people
Yeah.
missing.
You're
Then
right.
these bodies are showing up. And now our equipment's being broke.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then they move.
And then just being scared at night.
Yeah.
And everybody getting locked down early.
Wow. So as I was reading the story, my brain went to whole conspiracy thing.
Right.
Mhm.
So World War II,
Mm-hmm.
Nazis experimenting.
Okay.
I'm sure the U.S. might have been experimenting.
Right.
What if you were experimenting on quote unquote like super soldier,
Right.
not to go with the Marvel term, but
Mhm.
yeah, way up in Alaska. Why not?
Stick them up there in the woods and let them go.
Well, I mean, less people are going to see your experiments up in Alaska.
Well, yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
And-
there's still so much territory that's not
Yeah,
even been explored
right.
up there.
So is it possible something went wrong?
Oh.
Which, of course, with the government,
Mhm.
yeah, it goes
Oh,
wrong.
Was the Germans
Or the Russians.
Yep.
Right.
Well,
I mean, it's a possibility because they're saying Sasquatch-like.
mm-hmm.
Right.
So it could
And they
just
call it a
been-
whole different name too. So.
Yeah.
It's interesting
Um,
because I haven't seen the term humanoid pop up yet, but I'm assuming that's also what we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I guess it's just the terminology they're using in the articles is Sasquatch-like.
Mhm.
But once again, if we go back into the history of Eskimos and all this, that they do have creatures that resemble the Yeti, that type of thing in their
Mhm.
history.
Right.
So
And they have, I mean, not just the Yeti, but I mean, they've got a little bit of water creatures and stuff too.
yeah,
Um,
but it's weird how this started happening around World War II.
Mhm.
You know, there were Bigfoot sightings prior to World War II,
Mhm.
but
Oh, yeah.
this deep dismemberment and all that. And then for it to be so quick, 11 years, the whole town's gone.
Right. Well, one of the things I just kind of looked up to was when was the first gorilla sighted? And I know this sounds weird, but like ape-like creatures. Okay, just
Like-
go down
like-
Bobby's theory here. Play
like-
the little tune.
Like an African, like it's indigenous to
yeah.
Africa. Okay.
Y'all can
Well-
already see the veins popping in my head.
But I
right?
mean, okay, well, I said
Go ahead.
Go
I'm
with it.
I'm
Go with
I'm
it.
ignoring you. Go right ahead.
Go with it slowly. We're gonna go slow.
Breathe.
Just breathe. You can take it. You can take it all. You can take it all. We'll start with this little tidbit here. Okay.
Just the tip.
Just the tip first.
tip
and
for
then-
you. Ooh.
But okay, the first gorilla that was actually seen was in 1902.
Okay.
So in the 1700s, if they have this going on, these people coming in, what's to say there wasn't a gorilla-like animal that was kind of living there?
A gorilla super soul.
Well, sure. Wasn't there?
Sure.
Is it called Gigantopithecus?
Yeah.
That was found in Asia. And you know that was like
Right.
the land bridge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I'm
Let me
saying.
Google it.
Google that for me, please.
Gigantopithecus.
No, I'll Google it too. I'll be
You're
on the
not,
same page.
you're not Googling bananas. But no, so okay, go with this little tidbit and let's go down Bobby's trail. So if this is something that could have possibly been there
Mhm.
because it didn't die out, and it's this large creature that would have a almost like
this is something that's indigenous to Alaska.
could be. We don't
Right.
know. I mean the cave systems and stuff are there,
Well, you know,
and
Think about-
inside caves at 60 degrees, pretty
Right.
much. So I mean,
well, Alaska and Canada, what they have going for it is that it's a lot of land,
mhm,
and the majority of it is pretty barren.
mhm.
So
Okay.
it's like no man's land.
Mhm.
We don't really know what's up there.
No.
Mm-mm.
You know what kind of creatures or what kind of life. I mean, you have of course Eskimos and Native Americans and
But they've had these stories too that have
Mhm.
transgressed with all these different
mhm,
beings or animals and stuff too.
right.
Hmm.
I don't.
You can't dispute my little
Possibility.
side road there. You're
Well,
gonna have to do a
no.
U-turn. I know we're gonna do a U-turn and come right back,
Bring it
but
right back. Come back with that rifle. We're taking one home. No, I mean, I can't dispute it. I think it's bullshit. No, I'm
Is that a
kidding.
monkey? Is that a gorilla? I mean, I was giving you a gorilla, Chris. I wasn't even going with the whole Bigfoot thing. I was going with
Like, what, did they see a gorilla and did that? Because a gorilla,
or even an offset species that we just don't know of a
I
gorilla.
mean, it could be a very large gorilla because they have
Mm-hmm.
hands. Because what they said, the people were not like a bear would have claws,
Right,
but they weren't ripped.
right.
They were
torn.
torn apart.
Right, and a gorilla does have that force to do that.
Mm-hmm. It could.
It really could, really, Chris.
It was King
It
Kong.
could do it.
It was King Kong.
But
No.
It was King Kong.
No, King Kong was the daddy. He was the stoner, and then he left.
Oh.
he went and got milk.
Didn't come. When got his pack of cigarettes.
But going back to the report,
Mhm.
they're saying Sasquatch-like.
Right.
So who introduced them to the Sasquatch-like?
Well, they had a hair. It's like a hairy man kind of thing. Is
Yeah.
is their thing, and from what their word
Oh.
for it transitions into.
Yeah, did you see the word?
Yeah.
Are you
go
going to
read
try
it.
and pronounce it?
Mm-mm. I don't even try to pronounce a lot of things that I.
Nantinik, Nantiiinaq.
That was as
I
best as
should know how to say that because I watched
Oh,
this stupid show.
your phone will
about-
tell you, right?
Yeah.
Google, how do you say, or can you type it in or say how it's pronounced? Or, I don't know. Or Siri. You have
Is it
Siri,
looking
huh?
up?
uh-huh.
Poor guy.
Watch that, Joe.
I like my Apple phone.
Yeah, I know. So,
Spell it again.
Nantiiinaq. But anyway, that's what the Native American people, the
Yeah.
local Native people,
And it, and it
and it's supposedly a Sasquatch-like presence.
Well, I mean, it's as I said. I mean, it's still the middle of nowhere
Yeah, in the 40s
in the 40s
and 50s.
and now.
Right.
Nobody moved back there.
No one's been
Like,
back
it's
since.
truly
since.
a ghost town now.
And they've had shows where people have gone out and investigated the town.
right. I was gonna say there was one on Amazon Prime that was about them going out there to do an investigation prior to the show actually being made, but it's not the same people. It's a Bigfoot investigator
Gotcha.
to go out there and do it. That was on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, and I saw, I think it was called the Alaska Nantiiinaq
Nantiiinaq.
per Siri,
Not too much.
the male version of Siri.
Well, this isn't Siri.
Oh,
Some man.
It's a some man.
some man.
It's some man.
Oh,
It looked like a man.
he looked like a man.
But yeah, so Alaska Triangle show that I saw
Mm-hmm.
also did an episode about the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's.
So I mean, it's out there. That theory is out there, and it's it's.
well,
So I mean, what would you think it is, Chris, that would run all these people off? What do you think, Chris?
Well, I mean, we can only go by. Excuse me. We can only go by the former residents,
Mhm.
their story. Now, whether they concocted that or if they really had no idea and they just needed something to make up. The only thing that would dispute that is it seems like they've been having this problem for, well, we say 11 years,
Mhm.
but it may have been longer than that.
Right.
I mean, is it a whole new species that may or may not exist today, but did then and was fed up with them being on their land?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. But what is it? I mean, something very big and very strong.
Mm-hmm. Terry.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, Terry. Sorry, I caught you googling over there.
Yep. Why do I have to do this with Bobby? There's no answers.
No,
So-
it's too big. It was too hard.
Well, I go into thinking, one, why did it start happening at World War II
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden?
Mm-hmm.
Why was it over 11 years?
Mm-hmm.
Why was it
But I was-
targeted? Why was this?
And why was just this town, well,
Right.
that we know of?
Well, I was gonna say the Chatham or whatever that it's named after, Port Chatham or whatever.
Mhm.
Supposedly he discovered it or whatever, put it the name of whatever, Queen, whatever, blah blah blah. But they couldn't stay there. Like people was getting sick and people were dying
Right.
or coming up missing. So they were having those happening back in the 1700s. Now, so that was going back there too. And then there was the
Right.
Spanish people that came through and tried to also claim the property.
Well, here, I just found some more information. It says,
Yeah.
hunters and gold miners were heading to this town also. But in 1931, one man that was chopping wood was found murdered, seemingly by a single blow that seemed stronger than any human could manage, and that started to alarm townspeople. So in 31, I guess it was initializing
Okay.
Yeah.
the aggressiveness. But again, why did it pick up And what was the final straw that just made everyone leave?
Fear. Just the.
Well, I mean, yeah, but there's no what would be the reason behind it? Just to have land, the land to be not messed with, because that's their on this Alaskan Bigfoot show. That's their theory is that the people were, I guess, starting to outfish the resources or outmine and mess up the land and stuff, and so Nantinuck or something like that, because that's how they refer to him, was coming through to stop them.
Right.
And to run them off of his land because they were basically saying all the wooded area was his land and
But I mean, it would take
I mean, you've got a whole town there. They're
a whole
making money.
town. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're making money.
I mean, you're having babies, you're building
Yeah.
families,
Yeah.
and then you're just like all of a sudden, oh, I'm out of
Oh,
here.
hell no. We ain't staying. We're leaving. You know, and I'm sure that it didn't start off as the whole town picked up and left. It was like, this family said, screw it, we're out.
Right.
This
right.
family said, screw it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then the
Sure.
town was dwindling, getting smaller and smaller to finally maybe not enough people there to do the resources of it. But at the same time,
But
nobody's coming in either.
yeah, no one's moving to the
Moving there
town.
to take care of it.
No,
and do
no.
it.
Especially because you got to figure if the people are leaving, that means there's an opening wherever that person was working.
Right.
And it wasn't like the fishing was drying up or the
No.
mining was the mine was
Yeah.
getting drying up.
Yeah.
No, it was they
And
needed
then again,
people,
like I said, nobody went back.
Mm-hmm.
and no one's been back
Mm-mm.
since
It's almost like
1950.
It's almost like it's been cursed,
Yeah.
and because of the curse, everybody.
Respects it and they leave it alone.
Right. They didn't buy into it.
Mm-hmm.
They were experiencing it firsthand. So, I mean, I can't blame them for leaving.
No?
Well, no, if that
Shit's-
stuff was happening, yeah.
I mean, the shit is scary.
Oh yeah,
You know, that's kind of like
and it's just not. It just wasn't one body.
no. It's almost like a
Serial-
horror movie where
yeah,
you don't.
serial killers
Yeah,
going
so,
around.
Yeah.
and you don't know who it is, but the body count keeps rising.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And then I guess if you're not getting anywhere within the investigations,
Mhm.
you wouldn't want to stick around either.
No.
You're not getting any
Well,
answers.
I mean, do you really see the police officer for the town going, "Oh, I think I'll just go out there and find that killer."
yeah.
You know, and then
yeah,
I mean, you know what I'm
especially if he
saying? I mean, it's
tears
gonna be.
your.
I mean, I'm sure the police force at the time was maybe like 2 or 3 officers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's not like
probably.
the manpower or something was really going to be there, but.
Yeah.
But you know, they weren't bringing nobody else in to go
No.
and find out about it either. It was
No.
kind of like they were accepting it. This is what happened,
Right.
and okay, you guys decide to say, okay, you're going to be responsible for whatever happens to you.
I mean, this would be a really good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd have to be a cliffhanger, and you'd have to use a lot of imagination. But
Well, yeah. There's the only outcome is no one's left in the town.
right,
Like, that's
Oh,
it.
yeah, right.
so you would know that, but then you'd have to see the horrific, ripping apart of people's bodies and being
Well, that's
tossed.
what you do in a slasher film.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
Hollywood. Hollywood.
You know,
Scream.
buckets of blood. Yeah, I just realized, heard about that. Never mind, ADHD. We're talking about Bigfoot. Squirrel. Remind me to tell you about that later.
No, that's okay.
No,
I'm not really
okay,
not
I'm gonna
interested.
tell you now. That Scream was based off of a real killer.
Really?
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, so
So, told you, squirrel.
now there have been other reports of Bigfoot being aggressive, but not to this extent where it's a whole town.
Well,
Not murder either.
David Pilates 411 is based on that, where these bodies are being taken by supposedly a Bigfoot, and
But this is like remote camping, and it's not
right, it's not a whole town.
established town.
Not a whole town. But these
So-
are, yeah.
So is it
Chris?
possible?
This is your favorite topic.
No. You can see how interested I am in this.
Yeah, he's like, all right, are we done recording yet? Because I'm about done.
I mean, Bigfoot or not, something really horrible happened,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to get like forensic DNA
And
evidence.
I
to
don't
see.
even. Yeah, it would be.
Are we talking something
But I was
alien?
gonna say, but even with their forensic DNA, my tongue needs some.
Yeah,
Oh.
need some rest.
Damn.
Oh, what'd you know about that? Huh.
I subscribe. Anyway,
For $5. For 10. And for the $20 tier.
but
Oh,
all DNA has to have a source. There is
right,
no
right.
Bigfoot source. There is no source for
But that's
Bigfoot
the
DNA.
thing. Well, that's the thing is supposedly that there is, and that.
But it's classified as unknown.
well, but I mean, they don't have anything to go against it.
That's what
So,
I'm saying.
well, that's where like he just whispered alien. What?
Yeah.
Aliens? What?
On our next episode, we won't be talking aliens.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. Are we?
I thought we were.
Oh, I don't know.
Beats me.
Anyway.
Stay tuned.
If you choose to come back to this bumbling,
So yeah. So final thoughts.
I believe that there's a ape-like creature that had just not been found yet. That was out there that was being disturbed or got let loose on the island, by some way somehow, and it went on a rampage. It was maybe scared or whatever, and these were its food sources of the fish and stuff like that they were getting, and going out there, be just like a bear trying to go after the French fries in your car. It's going to tear stuff up to get to what it wants, So it might have been tearing up the machines and stuff like that, just trying to get to the food, or
Just unaware of what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris.
Just a savage beast.
Like
It's kind of a maybe like a 3 or 4 way tie between maybe an experiment gone wrong, something that is naturally indigenous to the area that you're in the Arctic virtually.
Yeah.
It's Alaska. It's freaking cold and barren. It could be alien.
what?
I know. Nice.
It could be
So,
extraterrestrial.
Nice.
so proud of you.
Oh my god! Fuck off.
Woo.
Somebody's starting to grow up.
God. He went potty in the toilet. Yay!
You know what?
Tears in my eye.
I redact that. No.
Too late. It's recorded. It's
I'm
everything.
redacting it on the
It's on
recording.
video. It's on audio. We got you for
Um,
posterity.
I don't know if I want to buy into that it is Bigfoot or something like that.
Okay.
I think it was something else.
Yeah, I'm feeling the
What?
same way because no one's coming out and saying it was a Sasquatch like.
Right.
If it was Bigfoot, I think they would have said it was Bigfoot.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but my
It
thing
was
is Bigfoot.
Sasquatch.
That term Bigfoot, that was made in California. That happened
Well,
right
yeah,
there in
but
California.
They have
But-
their own terms for
Right.
that creature.
That's what I'm
Why
saying,
wouldn't
but
they?
that's through history that's been called
Well,
that,
I
not
know.
just that time made for that day, sir.
I know. So what I'm saying is, why are they reporting it to be a like creature instead of that
'Cause
creature?
they don't have anything to compare it to.
Well, yeah.
So
well,
it's like.
according to this, they're
That's what I'm saying.
Sasquatch like.
It's
So to me, that means it's similar to what they're known. They know as Yeti,
Yeah.
Sasquatch.
Yeah.
It's similar, but it's not that being.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have been an offshoot, an experiment. I don't know about the alien route, but
Oh, you gotta question it.
But-
Oh,
I took it back.
there are
It doesn't matter now.
there are now a lot of reports of alien interaction,
Right.
UFO interaction in Alaska.
right.
So now, yes, I believe something did happen for the
Mm.
entire town to go away.
Right.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt.
Mhm.
And if we'll ever find out exactly what happened, I don't
Nah.
know. But
No.
I mean, this creature could
it's
still
a true story.
I mean,
it
there
could still exist up there.
and it could.
Right. And what they said was, the residents, and past residents all put down to their family that it was this creature that
Yep.
ran them out of town. So
Right.
my thing is, there's nothing to sit there and say, oh, we just got bored, or oh, the resources dried
Yeah.
up. I mean, because they could have said that.
Yeah, the whole town can't
Yeah.
tell the same lie.
Right.
Well,
Well, I would
mean,
hope not.
They can.
Well,
Well,
they-
I mean, if the government
well,
tells you this is what you're going to say, like they did in
But when you-
Roswell,
when
so
you
this is what
move-
you're going to say.
Isn't this how religion works?
Yeah.
Oh.
Shit, now I gotta go edit the past 25 minutes.
Damn it, Chris.
So on that note,
You're out, Chris.
thank you, Lord. We're done.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
And remember,
sometimes the paranormal can still be normal.
Follow MGC Podcast on Facebook and YouTube.